Տրանսգենդեր անձանց շատ քիչ է տրվում օգտագործելու այն հնարավորությունները, որոնց մասին նրանք երազում են։
Transgender people are given very little chance to use the opportunities they dream of. The opportunity of my dreams has given me the Miss Trans Global contest, during which I have mastered many things that will help me change the lives of others by making them wonderful in the future. During this year, I have managed to appear in many social videos produced by the Right Side Human Rights Defender NGO by raising my voice about trans issues. I stand with all the transgender people who are afraid to talk out about their gender identity. Humiliation, discrimination and segregation must end in Armenia and in the world. In the coming years, I will use all my efforts to raise my voice, to find solutions to make the lives of transgender people prosperous and safe. I want to be the winner of Miss Trans Global 2021. As this will give me great opportunities to initiate significant changes in Armenia, I am tired of being differentiated and discriminated against. For years I have been discriminated against by various modeling organizations. Hundreds of doors have been closed to me on the basis of my gender identity. But I have not been depressed and disappointed. I will continue to fight for the equality and visibility of the transgender community. I will not stop raising all the issues that trans people face here in my country and in the world. Armenia and the world must accept that there can be transgender models, cooks, doctors, teachers, builders, nurses, professionals. I will use this opportunity to make the world more beautiful with my kindness and humanity. I just as end discrimination against trans people.
Վերջ տրանս անձանց նկատմամբ տարբերակումներին։ Եվ ես կարծում եմ, որ Miss Trans Global-ը կտա ինձ իմ երազանքների բանալին։
Hello everyone, Addison Joy Harper here, Miss Trans Global Australia. I would like to set up an online forum that was a safe space for trans women and trans feminine people to be able to come to seek advice and support. It is here that I would be able to submit and upload information and research that I would receive from medical practitioners here in Australia. I believe that the trans community living remotely and in rural communities globally are the ones suffering the most, and I would love to be able to help them. They are suffering because they don't have the support around them. They are suffering because they don't live near medical treatment and have to travel a really long way to seek it. And most of them really just can't afford it. I believe that setting up this forum is a great step in the right direction to be helping our trans brothers and sisters that need it the most. I have been working closely with the Northern Territory AIDS and Hepatitis Council to create a safe space for trans women to be able to come and have makeup lessons with me. Throughout this makeup lesson, I'll be talking about my own trans experiences. I'll be talking about self-confidence, self-love, and self-care. But most importantly, I'll be giving them my tips and tricks on how to soften and feminize your face with the power of makeup. This is something that I'm very passionate about. I have been a makeup artist for many, many years, and I can't wait to share this with my trans sisters in the Northern Territory. Once this is established, I'll be able to set up a YouTube channel that I'll be able to do my makeup tutorials there and talk about my trans experience on there and answer any questions that anyone globally has and share my makeup tips and tricks with the trans people of the world. I would also like to talk about Black Lives Matter and Black Trans Lives Matter. This is a very important movement, and I can't believe that in 2021 we are still having this conversation. If you have people of colour in your community, reach out to them, love them, support them. If they invite you to their rallies, please go. And this is why I should be crowned Miss Trans Global 2021.
given the opportunity to contribute by forming part of this organization as Miss Trans Global, I would love to dedicate my entire year to support and assist those in real need. I would like to focus on 3 main topics to make it easier and achievable to start a legacy. First, by integrating. Promote and encourage participation from Miss Trans Global organization by recruiting individuals from nations that have not yet been involved and having a platform to speak up and raise awareness of the issues that are affecting those individuals living in countries that don't have proper integration or are violating trans rights. Second, by prioritizing. Prioritize the needs of trans individuals by creating a program called SOS Now, Save Our Sisters Now, by working in collaboration with the organization as well as organizers of the countries representing Miss Trans Global. As a community activist in a country that leads in trans rights and opportunities, I want to work with international ambassadors to help and assist those individuals at high risk of disappearance by murder, incarceration, and lack of physical and mental health support. Through my experience working and advocating for sex workers, people living with HIV/AIDS, and refugees fleeing discrimination and violence, I was able to build a network of programs and resources that provide proper integration of individuals in the community. And lastly, connecting. As chosen Miss Trans Global, one of my goals will be to document and expose the hardship of trans individuals in countries experiencing a lack of tolerance and support for the community. I know this plan might sound a little challenge, but I can take on challenges. I have been able to survive for 2 decades as a trans woman. If I could do that, I can do way much more. I believe Miss Trans Global organization is capable and ready to step out and add some physical and direct tangible components to the work done through the media by going directly to those who we are trying to help and support. I just would like you to trust me, to believe in me, and give me the opportunity to make changes that can save lives, to start a legacy of saving lives at least one at a time. We can do it if we all work together. Let's be the change we all want to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, family and friend, and distinguished judges. My name is Charlene McCarthy-Crabby, and I'm your Miss Trans Global Ghana. In our community, one of the things I have identified is that we have a lack of acceptance and protection for our young people. Being able to grow up in the United Kingdom and transition within the United Kingdom, I was able to access resources and facilities that I wouldn't have been able to access if I was back home in Ghana. And those simple facts and those simple things that I was able to do here are the reasons why I could thrive and be the person I so deserved to be. If I am given the opportunity to win the title or the coveted title as your Miss Trans Global, my aim is to be able to get the 5 top queens and use social media to bring us together, creating a platform called Connecting to T and starting this tree, or this otherwise network of people that will make a change. Connect to young girls around the globe using the click of a finger. Information that would have taken weeks and months to spread can now take seconds from a message. Being able to go around and express to people who and what transgender people are really truly about. Our aim is to go forth and stand for those people who cannot speak. The truth of the matter is, I'm a different queen. I'm different in the way I speak. I'm different in the way I look. I'm different in the way I even stand. The concept that even I, Charlene McCarthy-Crabby, your Miss Trans Global Ghana, could even sit here today and speak to you is a miracle in itself, but a blessing in all. And I want to share that blessing to as many young girls as possible, showing them that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. If you dream something, you think something, you can step forth and be that person. I want to be that help. The aim is to use social media to connect the globe. The aim is to use me to show that young girls can do anything. Taking this around the world, changing lives, and showing young girls and young trans people around the world that anything and everything is possible if you put your mind to it. Like I said, I'm an ordinary girl just like you and me. But yes, I did make it as a queen. And I'm forever gonna be one. I'm signing out. Your Miss Trans Global Ghana, and soon to be your Miss Trans Global Queen. Thank you.
Namaste. Miss Trans Global 2021 for me is a goal to fulfill my duties than winning a beauty pageant. If I get crowned this year, I would like to call out some serious issues that concern the well-being of transgender lives in my country. Transition complications and medical negligence. I am a part of a campaign called The Kaleidoscope, which aims to address medical negligence and to empower LGBTIQ plus community in my country. I will be working on to bring up a proper transition protocol and aftercare procedures with the help of the governing bodies and medical board. Mental health awareness and gender sensitization. One small crack does not mean that you are broken. It means that you were put to the test and you didn't fall apart. People who are abandoned by near and dear ones are to be supported, cared, and sensitized about their self-being. At the same time, the social structure, including family, schools, colleges, offices, should be gender sensitized and won't end discriminating transgender folks. People who are enjoying the privilege of higher academics and power still lack an idea about sex, gender, and sexuality. In collaboration with Social Justice Department of the state, the need of sex education will be called out. Legal aid and artistic environment. A far dream of mine, which I'll be start working soon, will be creating an online space to provide proper legal aids and address the legal need of trans people in my country. Living in the biggest democratic country with the world's best constitution, protection provided by the law is very less in rate. Associating with Dwaya Transgenders Arts and Charitable Society, I'll be providing a grooming and training in professional modeling and beauty pageants for upcoming talents from the transgender community. I hereby declare, if I get crowned, I'll be respectfully take forward the laurels and services that Miss Meila Habijan put forward. I'll take my victory as a brand to educate, motivate, inspire, and lead LGBTIQ plus community around the world through my communication and leadership skills. Overall this, I shall be a good person at heart who will be compassionate to the fellow living beings and who look beyond the barriers that the man created. Here, the bold and beautiful Shruti Sitara proudly representing India.
Bekerjasama dengan organisasi Miss Trans Global, memulainya dengan melakukan kampanye secara masif tentang keberagaman SOGI SC melalui sosial media din mga
I am
kakuman,
ready to
budaya,
work with Miss Trans Global
sa
organization,
kampanya yang ingin
started by conducting a massive campaign about the diversity of SOGIESC through social media with the team culture. One of the campaigns that I want to convey globally is the 5-gender culture in the province of South Sulawesi, my province. Because the society here has only known men and women and assumed that LGBT is a product of the West without ever studying historical text that in Indonesia there is gender diversity which has been recognized in the Bugis culture. In fact, it has existed since pre-Islamic in the past. The Bugis people lived side by side in tolerance without distinguishing one's gender. In the Bugis philosophy, the term sipakainga means to remind each other, sipakalabi means mutual respect, and sipakatao means humanizing humans. And I think this philosophy need to be widely campaigned as a form of human respect for other human beings, just as it is stated in the principles of human rights. Maybe it will feel short in serving as Miss Trans Global, but my passion to inspire will continue as a transgender woman from Indonesia in the world of movement. I am Amanda Sandova, proud of my identity
Saya Amanda
as a
Sandova.
transgender woman.
Bangga dengan identitasku sebagai transgender perempuan.
Equality, safe environment, and acceptance are just some of the things that we transgenders are fighting for. I believe that we beauty queens are not just catering to what is perceived on the outside, but we are also very passionate, resilient, and driven individuals who are willing to impact and educate society on the causes and advocacies we believe in. I am not just a transgender, nor just a beauty queen, but I'm a proud transgender parent who is showing the world that everyone's entitled to raise a child and build a family of their own. Winning the crown of Miss Trans Global 2021 puts a responsibility on my shoulders to educate and make people aware that we exist. Yes, we do exist. That is why, if I'll be given that responsibility, I will explore and exhaust the virtual world to explain what we are all advocating for. I will use multiple social media platforms like podcasts, YouTube, live streaming, and even just by simply sharing my life experience through pictures and videos to help amplify the voices of those that can't be heard. Also, to make my reach more comprehensive, I will embody what a real Miss Trans Global is and use the organization as a platform to reach out to different organizations that support the transgender community. Lastly, let me leave you with the 3 L's that make up how I will help the organization. First L would be liberate, to set all those doubts free, to unleash from what society has dictated towards our community. For freedom shouldn't be forced, but should be free. The second L would be learn. For us human beings, we learn from each other. I hope to open the minds and heart of those people that are close to what we are fighting for. For learning is a progress, and it's about time for others to be progressive about accepting transgenders. The last L would be love. Love is a universal language where everyone in the world deserves to be loved, regardless of their gender, race, social economic status, for love is the seed that we should all bear in our hearts.
Salam Sejahtera, I'm Miss Trans Global Malaysia. With the name of human, I believe nothing could divide us regardless of our difference. We live in the same space, breathe with the same air, and spread kindness is a key instead of allow negativity and hate grow in this world. I start to learn and empower myself to see the world in wider perspective. My advocacy not limited to specific issue but as a whole. Starting from proper term use, insurance coverage, law and human rights up to increase quality of mental health and well-being, as well as reduce financial burden among marginalized communities. This is just the beginning. This journey will continue even though it has been a year and stay relevant. Sharing the discrimination facing by the trans community across the globe opened my eyes to the various issues faced, starting from gender recognition issue, constraint to access to health, being bound by discriminatory law, hate crime cases, bad access to education, and endless issues. According to the Trans Student Educational Resources, 41% trans people attempted suicide, 49% trans people physically abused, and 30% of trans women have been incarcerated. To address the challenges, I will proactively and dedicated my effort to reduce the gap that have been faced. I stand with this quote, nothing about us without us. In the first instance will be community empowerment. As my vision in writing and designing infographic material, the blog called Hold the Hope is to share the experience, struggle, challenges, and quantitative report to ensure it being properly recorded for the purpose of educating and evidence to be highlighted to human rights organizations for better understanding on the community issues. While community being empowered, it wouldn't achieve a success without commitment or support from the allies and society to listen to our voice. Engaging various stakeholders such as policymakers, human rights organizations, professional experts, NGOs, and celebrities will be a good mechanism for me to address the issues, and our allies can drive better public acceptance. Remind them, don't look us based on their belief but see us based on humanist lens. Since 2014, my hashtag Break the Silence has never gone out of its life. It's not just a hashtag, but it comes with a mission that if we remain advocate through social media, we can break down the walls that keep our voice from being heard. I'm Fazlin Jaafar with open heart to be the next Miss Trans Global. Thank you.
Miss Trans Global serait une vraie fierté et un honneur
as Miss
de
Trans
pouvoir
Global will be an
servir
own and
pendant
proud
un an
moment
avec
where I
Fetty.
will have the opportunity to serve not only the community but also the women in general.
Pour moi,
For me,
Miss
real
Trans
beauty
Global
comes
est
from the
plus la beauté
inside within your heart.
extérieure. Cela
I know the
concerne
title
beaucoup
comes
plus
with
la
vast
beauté
responsibilities.
intérieure et la
I am ready for the challenge.
globale.
I would like to make an impact for our
J'assurerai la
community,
visibilité
to make
des
it visible,
différentes
respected, and have a
communautés
place in the
trans
society.
à travers le globe
I
pour
will
leur
use the online
reconnaissance.
platform to launch Person of the
La
Week campaign
visibilité
where
à
I will
travers les
promote
médias
the history
sociaux
of
et
our
l'actualité
community
entre
and make
autres.
it stronger in the connecting world. I will also organize regular meetings with all my sisters around the world in order to work together and have the rights to live our life, right to freedom of expression, and ultimately the right to live peacefully without any discrimination. Remember, together we stand, divided we fall. I am proud and indebted towards my country as well as the local and international community for the ongoing support I am getting throughout this wonderful journey. What we really want is a sense of belonging, and by being elected and having the power, I will promote our community in many ways, such as the inclusion of various health, legal and educational programs, as well as sensitizing the population. We face a long and difficult fight to protect the history, progress we have made toward ensuring the LGBT equality. Without forgetting, I cite the opportunity to commemorate those trans militants and sisters who lost their lives in the fight, including our sister Unicare, who was murdered last year.
Merci.
I grew up in a Catholic family where in Spain my childhood oppressed. Since I was a little kid, in my mind, I always knew I was a girl, but the society and my family didn't. People is hurting you. They made me feel humiliated, rejected, with fear, insecure, like I was part of nothing, that I didn't deserve the love of God. You can be so happy when you're little with insignificant things, like wearing the heels of your mom, putting some lipstick when no one is watching, until someone destroyed your dreams. The only person that supported me was my grandma Ramona. She will be very happy to see the woman I have become today. This is why I want to share my life experience and my voice to all these parents of the girls and boys transgender. The importance to give them security and they feel loved by God. Be Miss Trans Global 2021 could give me the opportunity to reach all these families that live with fear and guide them so they give love and support to their kids. And tomorrow, they become successful human beings.
My advocacy journey has made me a selfless and a committed activist to the LGBTIQ community. Joining Miss Trans Global pageant, my aim has always been to use the power of media to advocate fully for the LGBTIQ community. I head a movement, Trans Pride Nigeria, which is under the influence and umbrella of Trans Pride Africa, and our aim is to promote the rights of every individual, irrespective of their gender identity, their gender expression, and sexual orientation. With my experience working with the LGBTIQ community, if I were Miss Trans Global 2021, I would want to continue with the sensitization I already started to educate and enlighten people more on who a transgender person is, what it means to be a transgender person, and also I would want to reach out to security and law enforcement agents to ensure the safety and security of transgender persons, mostly in the grassroots. I also want to use the power of psychological therapy to liberate depressed and withdrawn transgender people. There are people who get to suffer depression, people who are suicidal, people who go into withdrawal just because they lack psychological therapy. And this is what I want to help with as a trained psychologist. Also, I want to use this platform, Miss Trans Global, to teach people, mostly transgender and intersex people, my skill of arts. I want people to get to appreciate the fact that they are who they are, they can love who they want to love, and they can be happy with themselves. With the platform of Miss Trans Global, I want to do these and more. Also with the help of Trans Pride Africa, with the help of Trans Pride Nigeria, I would want to project the transgender community in a very positive way. Thank you very much.
es Iquispe y de ser Miss Trans Global, mi principal objetivo sería combatir la violencia y la discriminación por orientación sexual e identidad de género. Lucharía por el derecho a nuestra identidad, ya que las mujeres trans también somos mujeres y necesitamos un DNI que nos represente. Lucharía también por mejorar la calidad de vida de mi comunidad, enfocándome como Miss Trans Global en el trabajo, la educación y la salud. Históricamente, la comunidad trans y la comunidad LGTBIQ no hemos podido acceder a puestos dignos de trabajo. Es por ello que me gustaría comenzar en mi país buscando a los legisladores para así proponerles desarrollen leyes inclusivas laborales en favor de mi comunidad. La educación es muy importante para poder desarrollarnos como persona. Es por ello que me gustaría replicar el trabajo que he venido haciendo aquí en mi país, junto a Féminas Perú, donde tenemos la Casa Féminas y allí brindamos talleres de desarrollo personal en peluquería, costura, repostería y entre otras actividades de empoderamiento a la mujer trans. En la salud como Miss Trans Global buscaría hacer una alianza internacional con Socios en Salud, que es una organización mundial que lucha para que la salud sea un derecho humano para todos. Quiero ser vocera de mi comunidad y llegar a muchos medios de comunicación, así poder generar cambios positivos en la mentalidad de las personas, explicándoles que nosotras, las mujeres trans y las personas LGTBIQ, somos seres humanos y debemos empezar a ver las cosas que tenemos en común y no las diferencias. Me enfocaría también educando a las nuevas generaciones, pues son la base del desarrollo fundamental de nuestra sociedad, promoviendo una educación en valores como el amor, el respeto y la empatía.
Being a youth in the trans community have made me meditate on how the depth of my existence and capability transcends beyond my age. I recognize that I draw this empowerment from those who came before me, who persisted despite of persecution, so young queens like myself can proudly say today that I am trans, who deserves whatever spaces that I aspire to be included. Therefore, I see a year for the reigning Miss Trans Global to be only best maximized if we use it to further advance what our pioneers have already accomplished for us, upon knowing how long-term our fight for liberation is and how it best needs long-term efforts as well. If I were given this opportunity to lead in our community as your Miss Trans Global, I will not stray far, but rather focus on advancing what our organization and Queen Mela have already started. I will work closely with the organization in strengthening its local franchises per country through the centralized and institutionalized mechanism wherein we collaborate with advocates all over the globe, just like how MTG Philippines works closely with the trans healthcare, HIV and AIDS advocates of Love Yourself Incorporated. Being in this pageant also made me recognize how the opportunities for each queen in providing for our pageant materials are not equal. And as I view this pageant as a fight not against us girls, but the system that has long oppressed us, I vow that this vision will help each queen for the following year, and soon enough, more trans people around the globe in exposing the numerous issues surrounding our struggle for each of our country. Following Queen Mela's reign, I would extend the essence of #Humanity to not just cis and trans women, but all marginalized sectors of our society through #intransactional, which aims to extend our network efforts to both online and low-risk rural communities as the pandemic alleviates, to denominate our intersectional plight as both our communities' roots to the same larger systemic oppression. This can be done through coordination with NGOs, LGUs, consolidation of both intersectional trans and cis people opportunities and issues, and intensive educational campaign. A Miss Trans Global transcends beyond barriers of age, intersections, and borders. She knows the importance of reaching our basic masses as we integrate these campaigns all together. She's all beyond, and she's beyond ready to materialize it as your Miss Trans Global 2021. Thank you.
In 1 year, you can change so many things. If I were to be Miss Trans Global 2021, I will work as hard as I can to change people's mentality about us. My social media platforms, I want to show the public eye what they may not be able to see on TV normally, and I upload documentaries about trans kids at an early age. I'm the one who does the Romanian subtitles for Romanians to show them something else, to show them families with trans kids, families from different corners of the world, and to realize that this thing called transgender happens to anyone at any age, and doesn't matter which race, nationality or sex you are, because you are born this way. It can happen to anyone, and anyone can be trans. I open quite a lot in front of the public eye, and I tell them stories from my experience as a trans woman, so that they can see life from my point of view and my experience as a trans woman. At the same time, on my channels, they can also find information about what a transition means and what steps should be followed to start a transition. If I win Miss Trans Global 2021, what I would like to do has 2 words, and that is Maria Wow. Maria Wow is an online clothes an accessory shop dedicated to empowering women, cis, trans, intersex, non-binary, lesbian, bisexual, to represent their true identity, their true self, their inner self, their true gender, and their true sexuality without feeling ashamed of who they are. Maria Wow also focuses on how to educate people about what it means to be trans, intersex, non-binary, or even cis, to understand and accept the nature of each one, to stop racism and discrimination, because diversity minorities such as transgender, non-binary, and intersex people are facing high level of discrimination. Be you, be wow. Be Maria Wow. Thank you.
The very reason why the trans community isn't fully moving forward is because how people see us. They see us more of like those people who have mental issues or mental health disease rather than as a person. And the media has played a big role to this matter. While I was studying nursing, it is where I realized what I am as transgender woman. It is also at the same moment that my aspiration to become the paradigm and inspiration and a representation of the trans community in the healthcare industry started. There are not too many trans women in healthcare, especially in the nursing profession. And I wanted to be that person to kindle the spark to every trans woman that we too can be professional. And we can show people that we are not that what we are portrayed in the media. Apart from trans representation in several professions, I would also like to push trans women health welfare, since seeking medical help at the early stage of transitioning can be difficult to some. This advocacy is from a personal experience as well. If I become Miss Trans Global 2021, I would humbly and gracefully take on the crown and speak for my experiences as a trans woman nurse, and ultimately encourage inclusivity and acceptance of our community in the healthcare industry or in any other profession. It would also be a perfect opportunity for me to push or to talk about trans women health welfare, since I am myself a nurse.